What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my channel. This is my first time doing one of these, so I thank you for being here and clicking on that thumbnail. I really have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm having fun making these videos, reflecting on all the books that I've been reading throughout the month. And really, it's been really cool connecting with others. I found some of my favorite books through Book Talk, BookTube, Bookstagram, all of those, so I figured, why not share what I've been reading too? So today I'm doing a reading wrap-up for the month of March. I'm not gonna lie, I started this year in a bit of a slump. Back in January, I read A Little Life. That book wrecked me. It took a month to finish, and afterward, I just completely stared at my TBR pile, just completely unmotivated. Then March rolled around, and I knew I needed a reset, something short, fun, fast-paced, and that led me to my favorite book of the month of March, The Hike by Magary. Now, this book was wild, but easily one of the most fun books I've read in a really long time. The Hike follows Ben, who's just a regular guy who goes on a work trip, then decides to take a hike, then immediately loses phone service, gets lost, gets trapped in some kind of purgatory nightmare. Right away, he's being chased in the woods by these creepy dudes with Rottweiler faces. He's escaped, but then he meets this older lady who tells him to stay on the path or he's going to die. And at that point, he's on survival mode. And then the book, it just gets progressively more weird. There's massive bats, hovercrafts, mouth demons, a punk rock girl who eats people. And like every journey story, there's a sidekick. Ben's sidekick is this talking crab who curses like every other line. Kind of reminds me of Alice in Wonderland meets Twilight Zone if it was rebooted by Seth Rogen. So if you enjoyed anything like This Is the End, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think you'll probably be a fan of this book too. The pacing is tight. They're short, punchy chapters that feel like you're progressing through a video game. But beyond the insanity, at its core, it's really just a guy trying to get home to his wife and kids. Now, I thought the ending was incredible. One of the best I've read in a really long time. After reading it, I immediately jumped onto Reddit to see what everyone else was saying about it. And this was a 5-star read for me. It's not going to be for everyone. I think it's very niche. But if you're into weird, fast-paced, genre-bending adventures, I think you're going to love it. If you need things to make logical sense, probably not. Okay, so next up is a classic. I first read Fahrenheit 451 in high school, but barely remembered anything beyond Firefighter Burns books. I saw it floating around a lot of dystopian book lists and thought, let's see how this hits in 2025, when, let's be honest, the world feels more dystopian than ever. Now, this book was written in the 50s when Ray Bradbury was worried about the rise of televisions. I can't help but wonder how we'd feel now, knowing that most of our homes today have like 4+ devices where we get our entertainment from. We binge watch entire seasons of TV on Netflix, get news from tiny bite-sized clips on TikTok. One of the things I found really cool about this book was that it actually grew out of this short story called The Pedestrian. That story is about a guy who gets arrested for walking outside. So if you've read Fahrenheit 451, you'll catch that Easter egg when Montag first meets Clarice. So the reason why I decided to read this book is because I wanted to teach it for the first time. I teach high school students, and I found that most students enjoy dystopian short stories. I've had a lot of success teaching short stories like The Lottery, Harrison Bergeron, The Pedestrian, so I figured why not do this as a whole class novel study. And throughout our study, I just kept prompting students to make connections to their lives. I would ask them questions like, hey, what did you notice about Mildred? How do you think these seashells would be represented in society today? Of course, they said AirPods, but not that it made any difference. They still continued to wear them throughout class. But still, there were other connections like the families that Mildred watches on her parlor walls. There's a high-speed helicopter chases on TV that still gets views. And while mechanical hounds aren't real yet, NYPD did roll out DigiDogs last year. I really enjoyed revisiting this. The symbolism of the fire and Montag's transformation was cool to see and develop throughout the story. I give this book a classic 5 stars. Highly recommend it if you haven't read it or if it's been a while. I haven't read much of Ray Bradbury, anything else beside The Pedestrian. I'd like to check out more of his stuff. I've heard The Martian Chronicles and Something Wicked This Way Comes are really good. So if you read those, let me know which one I should check out next. Okay, so this one, very different than my usual reads. I have no idea how I found out about this book. I think probably on TikTok, but I saw Bookshop, saw coffee, and thought, hey, I like both of those things. I would love to start a bookshop cafe somewhere down the line, so let's see what this is all about. Now, this book has no big plot, no dramatic twists. It's just a woman who leaves everything behind, her marriage, her career, to open a cozy little bookshop. She basically puts on a Keen album, pursues her dream. That's the book. Now this book moves super slow, like 10 pages at a time slow. It's not a page turner, but I think that's kind of the point. It's meant to be quiet, reflective, cozy. It reminded me a lot of this film called Perfect Days. That film is about a toilet cleaner's daily routine. I think both works are about finding peace in the little things, routine, music, coffee, nature. Now, I really like the themes of this book: work-life balance, personal happiness. There's a little bit of philosophy in there. So if you're feeling burned out, this might be a nice, slow, change of pace read to help you reset. Probably best enjoyed in the morning with a cup of coffee. For me, I give it 3.5 stars. A bit too slow, but I can see book lovers really appreciating it. So that wraps up my month of March for reading. I hope to make another video in April. I currently have 3 dystopian novels waiting for me at the library. I just finished season 2 of Severance, so I kind of need something along those lines. Also on my TBR list is Dungeon Crawler Carl. I've been seeing that everywhere on my feed, so I hope to check that out soon. Thank you again for hanging out with me while I talk about books. If you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are on these books if you read any of them. See you all next time.